Oh, yeah. Freak out. Yeah, I'm looking right into the video scope, And this is Macho Man, #1 Macho Man impersonator, past, present, future, yeah. And I'm here to tell you, you are watching 49er Minded with Bashar. Yeah, the cream of the crop. Dig it?
49er Minded.
It's not just a thought process, but a way of life.
49er Minded. 49er Minded.
Can't shake it. It's 49er mind that I got. It's 49er shine that I got. My psyche's on another Frisco Super Bowl. Don't sit slow, cause here we go with a super show. A red and gold session about a red and gold obsession. With some well-controlled expressions. Let's talk about that win that we got. Who should have been in the spot? That's how they spin in the spot. All that back, all that crack, all that straight fumble sack. Or just dial it on up if you wanna talk smack. It don't matter what the story on, as long as the story aligns with a 49er mind.
49er Minded.
It's not just a thought process,
49er Minded.
but a way of life. For sure.
49er Minded.
Way of life.
49er Minded.
You still dancing, man. What is up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of 49er Minded, where we get into the minds of 49er fans. I'm hyped up. As you can see, I got really good buddy of mine who happens to be a big-time content creator in the 49er universe. Raj from RSF 49ers. How you doing, bro?
I'm 49er Minded. I'm feeling good, man. The intro got me all juiced up. I was dancing in the backstage. I'm hyped up, ready for Sunday. Happy to be here. And yeah, man, how you feeling, my boy?
I'm feeling good, man. I was just thinking back to when I ran into you at the New York Giants game before pregame and all that, and I was just, I was tired, I was bored, and for me, it's like there's people who will message me like 2 weeks before the game start. Are you hyped up? Or they'll message me like a few days before the game start. Are you hyped up? Shout out to Joey Mahoney. He's really big on doing that. And I'll tell him like, bro, dude, I'm only hyped when the games are actually on right then and there, like, and so like I saw you and I was just super, super chill. And we were just saying what's up to people. And at one point you did the Jim Harbaugh to Alex Smith to Kaepernick on me, where you like patting my shoulders and just patting me down and shaking me up. And then after that, like a few seconds later, I was like, Niners, like out of nowhere, way before, anybody else was yelling in the stadium. Because I just feel like all that energy that you bring is just infectious. And I always dig that vibe. And before we get started in the Niner football talk with Dallas Cowboys and all that, because it's obviously a big game, historic rivalry, you could say. Let me say what's up to the chatters. I'm going to try to shout out everybody as the show goes on. So if I miss you, or if you want me to say something, just let me know. If I miss you, no big deal, no harm, no foul. Let's do this, though. We got fired up 49ers. He was waiting patiently over in the Pacific Northwest. Says we better score over 30 because we got Brock Purdy. You hear me?
Oh.
What up, Dave McNiner? He was one of the guys who was chilling with us in the gold mine section at the New York Giants game. Good to see him on the chat as well. It says, let's effing go Niners. Let's go Cowboy tipping. 49er playlist. What's up, bro? Good to see you on here. Hopefully I can run into you again. Met you at the picnic a few months back. Because over the past 3 seasons playing against the Cowboys has made me feel like the 90s all over again. There you go. And we got 49er Throwback in the house. Check out his Twitter. He's got all kinds of cool throwback videos. I always retweet them because they're always fun to watch. Those Jay Rice touchdowns, Steve Young touchdowns, Montana, you name it. We got Douglas Fatigla, if I'm saying that right. It says, bang, bang, Niner gang, Niner mob. If anybody's new to the channel, just do me a favor, hit like and subscribe. Also, in the description box of this video, Raj's new 49er YouTube channel, RSF 49ers Live. I had the link to that because what we want to do is get Raj monetized. So the other channel couldn't get monetized, and he's got tons of subscribers on there, but we want to get people on the newer channel. So I put that description in the box. Please, if you're watching this video, hit that subscribe on that channel, please. We really appreciate it. What up, E. Kim? It says, hey, Bashar, and RIP to Dick Butkus. Yes, salute to Dick Butkus. Great NFL career. Chicago Bear legend. We definitely respect him. We got Debtopia. Says, look out, Raj loves to dance. Yeah, he was gigging, man. I don't know. I might start dancing. Hopefully, I'll be dancing if we win. That's for sure. Definitely. Some people are kind of doubting my dance moves, so I got to work on a few steps here and there.
We got to see it. I got to see you happy. Oh, my boy. We got a dance battle now on Sunday.
Got to do a touchdown dance. What up, Andy Land 27 says, let's go. I'm new one from back in my days when I lived in the East Bay, Pinole. Yeah, man. Appreciate you guys. We started a little bit late, but it's all good. Life gets in the way. It's all good, man. I started plenty of shows late on my own, so no big deal. We got plenty of time to talk about these Dallas Cowboys, and man. But again, it was great seeing you at the Giants game. Anything interesting happened while you were at the game? I know I didn't see you afterwards or anything like that, but anything, you got any funny stories about chilling at that game or being at that game in general since I saw you there last?
It was a good game. I mean, there was one. So I was, I had my section, because I was supposed to go with someone else, but my plans didn't go as it was supposed to. And then I had my other friends there, and I had my own section. So then my other friends said, hey, come up to our seats. I was like, I don't know if I can, because, it's a packed game. But there was an empty seat, and I'm hyped. I'm standing. Is Karen and Ken behind me are so, why are you standing up on the middle of I'm like, yo, I'm standing up. People in front of me are standing up. I'm hyped. I'm living in the moment. You need to sit down. And so they got mad. So there was a little beef. They're like, this is not even your seat. Go back to your seat, Sonny Jim. I was like, you know what? If you want my seat so bad, it's actually better than yours. You can have it. Like, it's better seat than, because my seat was like really good. But I was like, I want to stay with my friends, and they were getting all mad. But otherwise, it was good. It was fun. But that was definitely a story I remember I had to stay. But hey, I'm going to stand up and watch the games. Everybody, I said, you're going to tell me to sit down. What about all the other people standing up? So it was a little bit of a moment. But otherwise, man, I'm hyped up. Dallas, ready to go to Levi's. Let's go, man. Let's go.
You should have been like Bob Marley and been like, get up, stand up. It's ironic because the section I was in, the gold mine, led by Nick Clark, I'm head of the 49er fan engagement. Like, they don't let you sit there and be quiet. You gotta be like a cheerleader. You're an extension of the cheerleading section, basically. And they make you get up and stand up and cheer and yell for all kinds of stuff. Especially when the defense is out there, they want us to get loud, and they don't want us to yell when the offense has the ball either, though.
Who sits down to watch the game? It's like a guy that sits down to pee. Come on, it's crazy.
When I was talking to you before that game started, all these people would come up to you. I was like, damn, man, I felt like your bodyguard or something. Like, yeah, all these people want to take pictures with you and stuff like that. Did you run into anybody noteworthy during the game or before the game or whatever?
Oh, yeah, I ran into a few people before the game, a couple content creators, a couple just super fans. But, before I went and saw you down at the tailgate, I saw all the big, tailgaters. Big Body Cisco, all the guys, the E40's crew, like all the guys that are usually there. Like, I ran into them before the game, so it's up to them because they know me. And then just a bunch of content creators. Tommy Nello, the pin guy.
Oh, Tommy Nello was there, yeah.
Yeah, he's always there. What's up to him? So I saw all the cool, people that I usually see. And then just like a bunch of fans running into me. So it was cool.
Yeah, Tommy Nello's good people. I had him on the show and ran into him at the home opener last year. I didn't get to. I texted him. I was like, "Where you at?" He was in one of those exclusive club level things that we had no access to. So it was all good though. But shout out to him if he's watching. Love those little pins that he puts out and all that. But yeah, man, we got this game coming up, man. The 49ers are 4-0. I'm hyped up. We're on the Brock Purdy train. Basically, it is what it is. CMC's having an MVP year. There's a whole lot to talk about in regards to the team, man. How are you feeling about this season and this team overall in general?
Super Bowl team, man. This team is locked and loaded. The 4-0, number one team in the NFC, in my opinion. Obviously, you got to keep these wins rolling. A win over the Dallas Cowboys would keep them in that number one seed contention. I know it's early to talk about number one seed, but honestly, 49ers, we said this in the offseason, they have to get off to a good start, a hot start. 2019, they got off to a blistering start, and they were the number one seed. Made it to the Super Bowl that year, and I feel like that's what the Niners need, is that hot start, number one seed. And this is a big game because Dallas, towards the end of the season, they'll probably be near the top of the NFC, Philly, the 49ers, maybe the Lions. And whoever can separate themselves is going to get that number one seed. And this is a big game, man. And, of course, the rivalry, Dallas, San Francisco, they've had some big-time matchups, especially in the last 2 years. I honestly feel like this team right now, this 49er team, maybe we're Niner fans, we're homers, but they're probably the most complete team in the NFL. They got stars on every level. They got 4 of the highest rated players at position by PFF. PFF, you take it with a grain of salt, but 4 players highest in their position. You got Nick Bosa, you got Trent Williams, you got who else was it? It was Christian McCaffrey and Brandon Ayuk, like stars at every level of the game. We have a franchise quarterback now, a guy that Kyle trusts. Like, we haven't had this level, and I feel like this team is hungry. They're super focused. I really think they're looking at this every week, 1 week at a time, and there's no distractions this year. That is another key. Every year, there's always some type of drama, some type of distraction, some type of black cloud. This year, we're just playing football, man.
All that noise that was going on in training camp in the preseason, the beauty of it is once week 1 hit, within a blink of an eye, it was gone. It was like, let's play football. We're all Niner fans. We're all one team, one family, one goal. Niner Empire. Let's do this. And it's been like that from the jump, basically. Let me say what's up to some people that just jumped in. We got Jimmy Perez says, "What's up, Bash and Ross and Raj, not Ross." 187. Oh, Raj just lost Raj for a second. He'll probably be back. We got 187 saying Purdy. Hopefully we score 30. Actually, I got a score prediction for you guys later on the show. Here comes Raj. He's back. Did you press the wrong button or something?
Yeah, I did. My bad.
That's all good. Hey, we all do that from time to time. Norm 209er Empire, what's up, bro? He's a hip hop dude and he loves the Niners. Says this game definitely has playoff intentions. And yes, finally got our number 1 QB. Let me ask you this, because I know I was watching Jesse Naylor and shout out to him, and he was on with Grant Cohn. And because you mentioned the rivalry, right? Some people, Jesse, some people think that, does this, like, according to Jesse, the question was, does the 49ers Cowboy rivalry still exist? His stance was that it may not really be that much of a rivalry now because they have to beat us first, and we have the upper hand. But what do you think?
I mean, it's still a rivalry. Just right now, we're on a hot streak. We've beaten them more times than, they've beaten us in the recent history. But there's been times where the 49ers weren't beating the Cowboys. I was sitting here in Levi Stadium back in, 2016, I want to say, 2017. I can't remember exactly the year, when the Niners were stinky cheese. I watched them get blown away. The Cowboys came into Levi's, dog walked the team. The only good player on that Niners game was probably Jeremy Curley. Like, I've seen times where the Cowboys would crush us, So, yes, it is a rivalry. And sometimes in rivalries, teams go on a hot streak. They win games. It's just because the Niners are beating them right now in the newest phase of this rivalry. We have the leg up on them, Then every rivalry in the history of sports, there's times where teams go on huge runs, right? Like, look at Ohio State, Michigan. That's a perfect example. That's one of my favorite rivalries. Ohio State beat Michigan 10 straight times. Do you think that's not a rivalry? It is absolutely a rivalry. You ask everybody in Michigan who's their biggest rival, they'll tell you it's Ohio State. You ask everybody in Ohio State who's their biggest rival, it's Michigan. Because there was times where Michigan was crushing Ohio State, but it is still, at the heart and soul of it, a rival. Those fans hate the other team's fans. 49er fans hate the Dallas Cowboy fans. Dallas Cowboy fans hate the Niner fans. So at the end of the day, yes, it is still a rivalry. 49ers have the leg up, but we still are hyped up about this game. We're still there's Niner fans that are going to tell you they're nervous about this game. I'm sure there's Cowboy fans, realistic Cowboy fans, that are nervous about this game. So yes, absolutely. The players know the history about this game, this rivalry, these teams that have fought each other over the years. The coaches do. Everybody knows about the Dallas Cowboys and the 49ers. Deeply rooted for many, many years. And it just so happens that right now the 49ers have been dominating the rivalry. But you never know. You never know what's going to happen. So, yes, it's absolutely still a rivalry.
Any given Sunday, as they say, right?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, and you mentioned the fans. If you ask the fans, this rivalry is definitely alive and kicking. It's definitely been our favorite, of course, and hopefully it stays that way. But this is this is a really, really important game, though. It's like a barometer for the season because 4-game win streak, right? We're on the Purdy train, basically, and there's a few people that may kind of doubt Purdy here and there. I've heard a few people in the media, and there's certain fans that may say certain things. But if Brock Purdy comes out, and even if he just gets to win and just plays an okay Purdy game, that will say something. But if he comes out and balls out, that will be like a huge, hey league, look at me, I've arrived, I'm gonna arrive pretty soon. You know what I mean? It's like, so this could be a huge statement game for Purdy and the team in general. We got some people that trickled in here. Let me see what's up to them. John V was my co-host on the post-game show just a few days ago. Says, look at these two wonderful gentlemen. Check him out on the Locker Room Rant, his YouTube channel. And yeah, Lori Cat is here. She says, hey, Bashar and Raj, looking forward to a W on Sunday. I was trying to have her meet you at the game, but she went off and got a bite to eat or whatever. So it was like kind of bad timing or whatever when she was in our section. There are a few people that wanted to have you talk to over there, but they were just out and about during that free time or whatever. And yeah, man, this rivalry is a lot of fun. I remember growing up as a growing up in elementary school, just when I first became a Niner fan, and there was this one kid, a really good friend of mine, actually, him and his brother. One was a Niner fan, but the loudmouth of the two was a Cowboys fan, and I'd always get annoyed that he was a Cowboys fan. But then I was thinking at one point, okay, well, Niners just won 2 Super Bowls, but when we won with basically when we were coming off the back-to-back Super Bowls, right? Yeah. I was like, Cowboys, and I would always tell my Cowboys are nothing, they ain't a threat. Like, oh, we got the first pick of the draft and all this crap, and lo and behold, in high school, I had to deal with all his BS with Emmitt Smith and Aikman beating us in those back-to-back playoff games. So, yeah, and I'll never forget. I remember I used to get so mad back in the day, like seeing all those peeps in the Bay Area wear Cowboys stuff. I'm like, dude, why are these guys wearing Cowboys gear? What is going on? We got the 49ers in our backyard. Why aren't they supporting our team? Damn it.
Yeah, dumb, man. I remember growing up, same thing. Like, you drew a line in the sand, and whoever you lived in, like, the neighborhood was Niner fans or Cowboy fans. They were the 2 best teams in the NFL. Let's be honest. Those were like the teams everybody wanted to support. Cowboy fans were deep, and the Niner fans were deep. And they were both the teams that had been winning Super Bowls in the 80s and the 90s. And that was it, man. I had friends that they were cool with me, but when it came to football, we didn't want to talk because we just would talk trash to each other. And it was like every year when the teams played, like, it was bragging rights. And, we'd go out and play like flag football or whatever too. We'd play all our games on the week, and then we'd be ready. We watch the games, and then the next week we got bragging rights for the whole week, or for the whole year, really. It was like, the Niners won. And if it was the Cowboys, the Cowboys won. So it was fun, man, growing up. And then, yeah, in high school, like, your friends and then everybody would give you stuff if your team lost to theirs. So it's fun, man. And this is a game that I always look forward to no matter what. Hopefully the Niners get this dub, because you don't want to have to sit here all year and see all the memes and the Cowboys fans and with social media now. It's like another extreme. It's so the people take it so big, over the top. So if the Niners lose, I mean, the memes are going to be crazy. Like you said, Brock Purdy, people are going to come for his neck. And then same thing, if the Cowboys lose, all the Dak Prescott memes and how about them boys? It's going to be crazy.
Imagine if there was that social media going on during the whole Steve Young Aikman era, during those heated rivalry games. That'd have been interesting. Yeah, there's a bit of talk up in the chat. I'll get to it later, guys. Don't worry, I got you guys. And they asked Charvarius Ward, is it a rivalry? And he said, hey, quote unquote, probably for them, not for us. We won, so we good. Which kind of makes sense in their way, but at the end of the day, they just need to not overlook this team. We know how serious it is with these 2 teams. And Waroski says Lance will be released after Sunday. Why, after we beat them?
They don't need intel anymore.
This player intel thing is so overhyped. I was going to get to it later, but let's get to it now. I don't think it's a factor. I really don't. It's been going on for this stuff has been going on for years. At the end of the day, the 2 better teams, the teams with the better talent and the better coach teams usually come out on top. And at the end of the day, we have Anthony Brown, right? He's been with the Cowboys for quite some time. So what do you think about this whole intel thing?
To me, it's so stupid because you're right. If by that notion, Trey's going to give him all the plays, Anthony Brown's going to give the Niners any plays. But it's all about the game plan. Trey's not going to know what the 49ers game plan is right now. He's not at practice. He doesn't know, the game prep. He doesn't know what they're doing in walkthroughs. He doesn't know, their how they're prepping for this game. He doesn't know what their situational football, drills are going to be. He doesn't know how the situations are going to be. Like, yes, you might know tendencies that Kyle does for playing with them, but Kyle can drop one formation and 20 plays out of it. And there's so many different things he can do. Kyle is such a creative coach, that he can scheme up so many things that Trey Lance could not even imagine. So really it doesn't, in my mind, have a really big factor. And at the end of the day, man, like it's coaches are going to have to make the adjustments in game. Penalties are going to be something you can't predict. There's going to be turnovers. You can't predict that. Usually in a game like this, when it's 2 really good teams, penalties are the big factor that, or not penalties, but turnovers are the factor that change the tide of the game. Like, you can't predict how one player is going to come out. Like, if Dak Prescott has a horrible game and throws 3 interceptions, like, you can't predict that. And also, let's talk about tendencies and teams knowing other teams, tips, or, you study the film and, the Niners always do this. Like last year, right? We talked about Jesse, right? The whole debate of Trent Williams tipping plays. I mean, yeah, obviously he was tipping plays, but teams still couldn't figure out how to stop the 49ers. So just because you have some intel doesn't mean you're going to be able to stop a team or know what they're going to do. You don't have Kyle's game script. You don't know what he's, prepping his team for. You don't know the game plan that Kyle has unless you're there and practicing with the team. His game plan could be absolutely different every single week, every single quarter for that matter. So it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, and Kyle runs so many people in motion. He could easily disguise what that play looked like in week 1 and week 2 and make it look completely different in week 5. So I'm not tripping that off this at all. It's been going on in the NFL forever. I think Kyle's one of the better offensive minds in the league at changing things up. That's how I view it. Warowski says he's been on the show before, by the way. He says, remember the Tampa Bay Raiders Super Bowl, y'all? Well, that is the one time, though, because that's a head coach jumping from another team. And the thing is that the Raiders didn't change anything, though. They didn't really change much. They kind of kept what Gruden was doing. So that was where it pretty much shot him in the foot. But, hey, go ahead.
Well, I said that's just dumb. Like, to not change anything is just dumb.
Exactly. Yeah, I forgot that guy's name, that coach, the dude that took over the Raiders. I just thought it was funny, though. Platform 246 is here. Check out his YouTube channel. Big Time Niner Fans is what's happening. Minded and Faithful. Niner Gang or Don't Bang. Who else is up in here? We got Ariel Muro. Welcome to the channel. Hit the like and the subscribe. Says Trey is really that naive to think that Kyle's going to keep the scheme the same. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I mean, they know that teams change things up too, though, but they'll try their best to go off with what he knows. Whatever, Red Jet, she says, 49 minded team bash. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Texas boy here. Here goes the Cowboy online. Says Texas Cowboy fan says, Cowboys online is healthy. It's over for the 49ers. Well, wasn't it healthy the last 2 times we played them? I mean,
yeah, it's going to be a battle of the trenches. Last year, 49ers didn't have Hargrave. They got Hargrave now. He played on Philly, and he did work against Dallas before. So, I mean, again, it's going to be a battle of the trenches. It's really going to come down to turnovers, man. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think turnovers are going to be a huge factor, like you're saying as well. I totally agree with you on there. But let's. What do you think? I kind of know what you think, and I have an idea in mind. I'll add to it. But if it's anything different from what you're saying, then I'll add to it. But what do you think is the biggest problem that the 49ers are going to face in this game?
I mean, I talked about it earlier on my show with Locksmith. It's really that right side of the O-line. We want to talk about O-line trenches. Yeah, Micah Parsons is a dog. You got to respect him. Great player, one of the best in the league. And last year they did a good job, I feel like, when he came to Trent Williams' side. But, when he came up on that right side, we all remember the viral clip where he's throwing McGlinchey like a sack of potatoes. So if he does the same thing to Colton McKivitz, we're going to have a problem. So, yeah, we got to be able to protect Brock. He's done a good job of getting rid of the ball quick and distributing the ball even with the blitz. Parsons is a monster, man. We saw what happened when we played up against the Steelers and Watt. I mean, he wrecked it. He wrecked that right side. So we really got to be able to protect that right side. Maybe you got to use Kittle in the blocking game, use check, some of these receivers, Ronnie Bell maybe. So that right side of the O-line definitely going to be one of the areas that the 49ers have to really strengthen and help out Colton and Spencer Burford. Those two guys are going to be up for a big test. We all know Trent Williams and Aaron Banks have been really holding it down. But people know the right side is, if we have a weakness on this team, that's going to be it. And then the secondary, they've been banged up. They've been dealing with injuries. Are they going to be able to hold up and take care of CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks? I know Brandon Cooks hasn't had any, really big game yet with the Cowboys, but he's a good player. You never know. If we put all the pressure on CeeDee Lamb and spend all our energy doubling him, Cooks could get open. They got good players on that offense. So I feel like secondary is really going to have to step up and, ball out. If it's Ambry Thomas versus CeeDee Lamb, we might be in for a long night, So hopefully these guys can do what they got to do.
Yeah, a lot of people are speculating that Isaiah Oliver would possibly be guarding CeeDee Lamb a bit because they want to put CeeDee Lamb in the slot. So I don't know how that's going to work. If Isaiah Oliver is a bigger body guy, so that might work. It might help us. I don't know. I'm just a little 50-50 on Isaiah Oliver. I don't know what I'm going to get with him. Haven't seen enough of him to really make a good judgment on him. Let's just say that. We got 49er dude here. He's the guy who did my 49er minded theme song that you were dancing to start off the song. He's going to be at the game, actually. Says, let's go. F the Cowgirls is what he's saying. Yeah, but back to Micah Parsons. I mean, yeah, McKivitz is going to have his work cut out for him. It's just pretty sad, but I was watching Larry Krueger's show, and he was going over a few things, and it's just really, really sad. I had no clue of this. And I actually thought there were games where McKivitz did pick up his pass protection and did a lot better, much better job in comparison to what we saw in week 1 versus TJ Watt. But they actually, I forgot what website he referenced, but they actually have McKivitz ranked as 132nd in the whole entire league. I have 130 offensive linemen that are getting snaps.
132 out of 130?
132 out of 137 in terms of the worst pass. Basically, he's ranked as almost the worst pass protector in the league, basically. So hopefully he proves that stat wrong. He's pretty much up there in the run game. When they run to his side, actually, he's doing a lot better than I thought. It's a 4.7 yards per carry. And whenever they do run to his side, I noticed in the past few games, your running game was quite effective running to his side. So I was like, okay, cool. Nice. Because I noticed in like week 1, for example, they just ran the Trent Williams side the majority of the time. And whenever they did run to McKivitz's side, they had no success.
Wow, that's crazy. And when coming into the season, I thought McKivitz was going to be a good pass protector and not necessarily a good run blocker. But right now he's struggled on both sides of it, blocking. Well, again, this is his first year, big year as being a starter. He's adjusting. Him and Burford really don't seem to have that chemistry, that connection. But, I mean, you got to figure it out because this is going to be a tough season. It's only going to get harder. I mean, look at Seattle. We play Seattle in a couple of weeks. They had 10 sacks against the Giants. That's a good defensive line. We got Parsons coming up. You got, Myles Garrett coming up. There's some dogs that we play. Washington's got some dogs on the D line. So it's not going to be easy for him. That's tough. That's 132. That's bad, man. That's rough, man. He definitely needs to pick it up because we do not need to see Brock Purdy, getting hurt because of bad, pressure on him. But Purdy's done a good job of getting the ball out of his hands when he needs to. Again, Giants, they blitzed 84%. I remember that game, and he was just getting rid of that ball. And Brock's good at stepping in, reading the defense. He's able to kind of elude pass rushers. But at some point, it catches up. And you never know. If he misses his assignment on a guy like Parsons, Parsons is not like your average Joe pass rusher. He's going to come in and definitely try to get that quarterback down. So, yeah, it's a big game for Colton McKivitz, man. This is a huge test for him.
Well, as they say, great minds think alike. I was gonna bring up something that you already brought up. I'll add something to it. Purdy we're fortunate to have Purdy playing the way he is right now. I'm really hoping that he has no more doubters. I really hope that. But again, at the end of the day, he has to do it on the field for an extended period of time as well. So it is what it is. Some people just have longer evaluation periods for players than others. But Purdy has been getting rid of the ball quick, guys. I mean, he is just like right now. He's currently 4th fastest in the NFL. Last year, Purdy was 2.8 seconds off the snap of the ball to the release. This year, it's 2.5. So Purdy's doing a great job of once the ball is snapped, man, he's not wasting no time making his reads, getting the ball out. And one way we can circumvent this whole pass rush thing is, and Shanahan's been doing a pretty good job of doing it. Not necessarily having so many people up there to block, because Kittle's only pass blocked like 3 times per game this year. Actually, a lot of people assume that Kittle's always in the pass block all the time. It's not always the case. This year, it's not even the case. But if we use all 5 pass catchers and Purdy's getting the ball out, that will kill a pass rush, dude.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. If you can get rid of that ball quick, you're just going to tire them out because they're going to keep on pursuing, and eventually they're going to be like, we can't keep up, and then you just pound the rock. And that's what I think initially. And Richard Sherman said this best. He said the Niners need to come out and be aggressive, hit them in the mouth, and really deliver the blow to start the game, and just really take that aggressor role. They need to be able to come out and just be the aggressive team and get off to a hot start. And I think the 49ers, they need to hit them in the mouth, get them a lot of a CMC, hit them with the CMC. And then when they're reeling, boom, you can start taking those shots. And I feel like Kyle really trusts Brock, man. Like, you've seen him starting to open up every week, a little by little. Brock's taking a little bit more shots downfield. Like last week, Brandon Ayuk and him were just absolutely in sync. And those two guys, they're only getting better and better and better together. And eventually, once Kyle really opens this up and says, yo, Brock, whatever you need to do, go do it, we're going to see some deep slinging action. And I feel like Dallas doesn't see that coming. And that's what we're going to see. Again, we talked about, trade the intel. Like, he knows that this team, they love the short passes, the little Yak brother plays. People don't realize the Niners are opening it up every week a little bit more. And I feel like once the Cowboys start committing to CMC, we're going to see some deep shot to BA. And it's going to be absolutely cinema bash. That's what's happening. Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm going to add to some of that in terms of Purdy and the deep game and all that in just a minute. Want to shout out on Randy Daytona, a little funny inside joke between him and I. He said, Shakumaku bash. So in my language, I'm Iraqi, we speak Arabic.
we have a slang word, a phrase that only Iraqis say. It's not even from real Arabic, actually. It's a slang. It means what's up. So Randy thought I was Persian, and he used to type things in Farsi to me, and I could understand it because I know some Farsi, but he did his research. So that's a good one. That really made me laugh when I saw that. Nobody else would know that unless they're from my country or they speak Arabic, though. But that's just really funny. That totally made me laugh. Totally threw me off guard, by the way. Worowski says the sleeper in the game might be Moody. I hope not. I hope it doesn't fall on Moody's shoulders, but he's looking kind of good. We can talk about that a little bit later. But man, let's just say this though, Purdy, man, like the first, the whole knock on Purdy's game. He's a dink and dunker, blah, blah, blah. Or some people, not everybody would say that, some people. But everybody could come to the fair agreement that he wasn't known for as being a deep thrower. He wasn't known for the deep ball. He doesn't have a strong arm. Anybody else who said otherwise would just be a major homer or just be lying. But it looks, from what I heard, shout out to Dion. Dion was telling me this from Night of Game podcast. Purdy is actually staying after practice. I don't know for how long, if it's half an hour or to an hour. But he's working on his weakness, i.e. the deep ball. And he's been working on it. And, in that one game, was it the Rams game when he was overthrowing a few people? It's not like I was watching the game and like, I wasn't cussing like, oh, damn, this guy sucks. He's not making hitting on the deep passes. I was actually happy that he was attempting them. I was like, okay, cool. We're finally taking some deep shots down the field. Even if you miss them, at least you're making the defense respect you. That whole thing where you're doing the same thing over again, it just gets old. But at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? I feel good about this Purdy guy. I really, really do. I never once felt, even when I was at the Giants game when he was 5 for 14 in the first half, I sat back. I was chill. I was like, I have a feeling Purdy's going to figure this out. And lo and behold, 311 yards and 2 TDs later in the game, he was fine. Debo had one of his better games that I've seen, and easily the best Debo Samuel game that I've ever seen in person. That's for sure. It was a whole lot of fun to see him. So yeah, man, you're right. We add the deep ball to the game with, if they're going to try to cheat on us and bring the safeties up, hey, we'll beat you deep with BA or whoever, man.
Telling
and
you,
if
man.
Yep.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's a new wrinkle, and I don't think teams realize, they don't respect it yet because they don't respect Purdy. Like you were saying earlier, teams don't respect Purdy, but eventually they're going to have to. And now when you have the deep pass, man, your offense becomes so dangerous because you have the CMC, you have the intermediate routes, you have the Debo Samuel. And then once you get outside and you can beat the safety down with Brandon Ayuk, how are you going to stop this team? They're already scoring 30. They might be able to score 40 on a regular basis at some point. Like this team, when Purdy starts getting, better at that. And again, like you said, maybe he wasn't known for his deep passes, but I did see him a lot in training camp staying after. So I have no doubt that he's doing it now. He even said it, after that game, like, oh, I know I need to get better, bro. The guy's been balling all season. He hasn't thrown an interception, and he still says, I got to get better because he's a young quarterback. And obviously, he's still developing. He hasn't hit his peak. Brock Purdy, going to get better. And once he gets that accuracy and that timing down with those receivers on those deep passes, it's over. And people forget, he's still coming off a major injury. He's still getting that timing down. But every week, I've seen those deep passes get better and better. Like the back behind the shoulder pass, that Debo pass he threw, oh, my God, at that Giants game. Like that
was
play.
Beautiful.
Holy smokes. Yeah, like you said, that was one of the best Debo game you saw live. That was one of the best Debo games I've seen live. The best, though, was against the Cowboys playoffs in AT&T Stadium where he tells Kyle, just give me the ball.
Oh, yeah.
Where he calls the shot, he goes, we're going to put the ball in the box. I told you, Kyle. I told you, Kyle. Like that play right there was amazing, Bash. Seeing that live and like the moment in AT&T, I was wearing my Debo shirt or jersey. 2021, he carried the team, especially through the playoffs. I had somebody behind me he picks me up, just throws me up. I'm running the Debo. We're celebrating all together. I don't even know this guy, but we're celebrating. That was insane. That was the best Debo game I ever saw.
Yeah, I wish I had the luxury of going to that game. That's cool that you were there. It's a good story. Let me shout out this. We got the real Spider-Man is in the chat as opposed to the fake Spider-Man. We've never seen you before, but welcome to the channel. Hit the like button, subscribe. Also, whoever's watching, if you're already subscribed to Roger's old YouTube channel, subscribe to the new YouTube channel. It's in the description box. That's the channel that he needs to get monetized. So forget the old channel, get on the new one. I have that in the box of this video. It's very important. He says the D will keep their receivers on locks. The secondary is way better from last year. You're talking about the Cowboys secondary or you're talking about our secondary? I'm not sure where you're going with that if you want to clarify. And then he also asked, is the Cowboys O-line good? Do you want to answer that, Raj?
They're good, man. Tony Pollard's a good running back. And the Dallas Cowboys, a lot of that has to do with a good O-line. So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to respect the Cowboys. They got a good team. They got a great offensive line. Definitely going to be a battle for this defensive line. Bosa's going to have his work cut out for him. Javon Hargrave, though, I feel like he's going to be an X factor, right? Like I said, that's the guy that brings a lot of experience to the table in the interior line, and he's played on the Eagles. He used to play him twice a year, when he was with Philly. So he knows a lot on how to attack this team. But again, their O-line is good. I feel like we got to really push them. Niners got a good D-line, and that's going to be one of the biggest battles of this game, right? Like we said earlier, who's going to get the pressure? Who's going to force the other quarterback to be, scared? And last year, the 49ers were able to do that. They were able to get into Dak's head. He threw the picks, and a lot of it had to do with that pressure. And, Arik Armstead was getting there. Bosa was getting home. The year before in the wild card playoff game, DJ Jones was just getting after, dude. He was getting after Dak. And I feel like now we have Hargrave. He's better than probably any interior defense lineman we've had in a long time. So I feel like he might be the best player at interior line. No disrespect to Defoe. Defoe was great since Justin Smith. Like, that's how good I feel Hargrave is.
He might be better than Defoe, dude. Seriously.
He might be, man. And he's getting better and better every week. Like, he's getting his sledding down, his footing down. This guy's a monster, and he knows how to play Dallas. So the D-line is key for the Niners because Dallas Cowboys O-line is good. I got respect for that O-line. They're good, man. Tony Pollard is a good running back, and he runs behind a very well-oiled machine. So, yeah, it's going to be a battle there.
Yes, sir. We got 49er dude said, yo, Roger, just to subscribe. So, yeah, we definitely need to see people subscribing to the new channel. I know he's got like 10,000 on the old channel, but he couldn't get it monetized, and YouTube has some weird, funky rules. I'll keep my mouth shut about the YouTube in general, but because I'm using their platform.
You don't want to get hit up like me, boy.
Exactly. I know how they did you.
We love you, YouTube.
Yeah, you're the greatest.
Nah.
So John V was saying something about what you said, and I was thinking the same thing watching these games. Like, dude, I'm sure we put up 30 here and 30 there or whatever, but I felt like we could do so much more. He says, Raj, that's very true. We left a lot of points on the table mid-season when we could easily be scoring 37 points a game. That was John V right there. Yeah.
The game where we was it the Rams game where we had a couple overthrew
in the Rams game, yeah. And then later he hit Jennings.
Like he had Ayuk like cold blooded. Like, yeah, it was Ayuk because I remember he had Witherspoon beat. Like, he cooked him off the line, and I was like, oh my god, B.A. I saw it. I was like, B.A.'s open, and he threw it to him, and and I was like, oh my god. But like, when they finally hit that, because they're gonna throw that same play in 3 more weeks, maybe on Sunday. When they hit that play, ladies and gentlemen, the crowd's gonna go wild, and the momentum is gonna store, and you're not gonna be able to stop the Niners, and they're gonna be dropping 40 points. I'm telling you, this offense is going to be clicking. And then the defense is going to catch up with this offense because I think that's what people fail to realize. Right now, the offense is carrying this team, Bash. You know how many years we sat here and pulled our hair out to say, just score 20 points, dude. Just score 20 points. Dropping 30 points. And the defense is still figuring shit out. Like, when the defense starts clicking and hits on all cylinders, who's stopping the Niners, Bash? Who's stopping them?
And nobody's stopping. I mean, the touchdowns are coming a lot easier now, too. Remember before it was like, okay, we crossed the 50-yard line. We're at the 40 now. But guess what? We failed on 3rd down and another Robbie goal field goal.
It was here comes Robbie every time.
Yes, sir. I mentioned Dion earlier from Niner Game Podcast. What's up, bro? Says, oh, snap. We got Raj and Bashar. This will be a great show. We're trying, man. We're trying. I have mentioned you because you had mentioned how Purdy's been staying after practice, practicing the deep ball, which, was his weakness. Hopefully he makes it a strength. And from the looks of it, where was it? Ariel Muro says, from the looks of it, I think we're already in Dak's head based on his response from the press conference. What did he say? Do any of you guys know about that? I didn't know about that.
Oh, yeah. So I posted the video the other day. So it was so fun. You didn't see that? Oh, that was one of the most funniest.
I missed that. So, remind me. Maybe I did see it.
Okay. So I think it was Tuesday, I want to say. So the reporter, Dallas reporter, he asked Dak Prescott, because obviously you're trying to preview the next coming game against the Niners. He asked Dak, he goes, well, how you feeling after losing to the 49ers in the play? Bro, this is like 8 months later. You lost to them early in the season. And Dak looks at him like, well, he goes, what do you mean? Like, obviously I'm going to be pissed off. We lost to them in the playoff. Like, he was so mad, and his reaction was like, I'm going to be mad. Like, I'm going to be angry. I'm going to be angry yesterday. I'm going to be angry today. Like, what kind of he goes, now I'm pissed. He goes, what kind of question is that? I couldn't believe, like, why would you ask any player, oh, how do you feel about losing this game? Like, of course they're not going to be happy with you. It was crazy.
And many people over the seasons have ranked Dak as a top 10 quarterback. And, it's just, I think that Purdy edges him though mentally though. I mean, Purdy is just shout out to Ted. For those of you that don't know, Ted will compliment Purdy every now and then. There's a huge stigma out there in regards to Ted and Brock Purdy, which I'm not going to get into. But Ted, last 2 times I went on with Ted said that Brock Purdy's a mental giant. Those are the exact words he says, and I really really do respect what Purdy does. And when it comes to that, he just the way he just analyzes the coverage, the way he gets rid of the ball quick, like we were talking earlier, all that, man. He just sees things quicker than other people do, and we're seeing it on the field. What up, Dan Castillo? Good friend of mine says, "What's up, Bash? Good to see you." We got Steve-O here. Just remember, guys, to hit up the description box of the video because RSF 49ers Raj has a new channel up there, and subscribe to that channel. His old channel where he's not going to be using it anymore. And I think I did see this, Randy. Did anyone see Sherman's podcast? Jimmy Ward basically said he fired himself. Oh, I didn't catch that part. I did catch the part about Jimmy. Did you catch any of that, Raj?
I watched that whole podcast because I love.
Oh, you did?
I watch Richard Sherman weekly, man. I love that guy. But that was probably one of his best episodes because Jimmy Ward, he's raw, he's uncut, man. He tells it like it is. When he used to go on his Instagram live stories, right? You knew you were going to get an unfiltered Jimmy Ward, just off the cuff, man. Like he just says what he has to say. Like he doesn't let any politics hold him back. He doesn't bite his tongue. I mean, I feel like he did a little bit last year because he was still with the team. He didn't want to throw anybody on the bus. But on this Richard Sherman podcast, bro, you have to watch it. He basically explained the whole situation, how it's a business. He's a veteran. They're going to try to squeeze veterans out because they have their draft picks. New coaches, new teams, when they take over a team, usually the veterans are the ones that get lost in the shuffle because you're going to try to buy in with your roster. You want to build your team. So a lot of the veterans, they don't stay. 49ers, they didn't keep a lot of the bulky guys, right? You had Armstead, Staley, Jimmy Ward. There's very few guys that made the cut. Carlos Hyde, but then he got cut the next year because they got McKinnon. So that's what they did. And he explained how over the years, as he became a more, veteran in the league, he understood they're trying to squeeze me out. They're going to change my position, make my value less. Or if I do good in this position, that's less money than the position I want to play. It's not going to be good for me financially. So he was always dealing with them. He says initially when he was a younger player, he did whatever he could because he wanted to impress the coaches and take advantage of his opportunities. And Richard Sherman taught him, take advantage of those ops. But as you get older and more established, you got to learn how to put your foot down. And there was just a falling out between him and Kyle because he wanted to play safety. Kyle wanted him to play cornerback. And he's like, dude, this is my last year on the team potentially, and you're just throwing me all around the place. So he lost respect. And he basically told Kyle, look, man, if you don't want to play me safety, then just bench me, basically. Because Kyle was like, oh, you don't want to start? And he goes, yeah, fine. I don't want to start. Just put me on special teams. And it was this whole thing. And then he went to D'Amico, and he was like, look, man, I went to Kyle over you because I knew you would have just told me, go to the man on the top, and you're not the man on the top yet. So D'Amico says, look, if I ever get a head coaching job, I'll take you with me to be a safety because that's where you belong. And that's where you went to Houston. So it's a very interesting interview. I would recommend checking it out, Bash. It was good.
I definitely do got to check out because I'll tell you this. Thursday Night Football is going on right now. I have no idea what the score is. If anybody wants to give us an update, feel free to. But watching Richard Sherman on the panel, and I said this the moment, it was probably week 1 of the NFL season last year. I was saying this. I tweeted it, just sitting and watching Sherman talk for 5 minutes. And I wasn't saying this because he played for the 49ers, even though everybody pretty much regards him as a Seahawk. He won a Super Bowl with the Seahawks. But I was basically saying Richard Sherman is my favorite NFL analyst because I don't know. I jive with his personality. When he's on there, he keeps it real and he's entertaining. He's funny. He's smart. And he obviously knows game. He played the game. So, yeah. So the update for the Thursday Night Football from the real Spider-Man, not the fake one. Bears 30, Commanders 20. How much time left? What quarter are we in?
So we got fourth quarter. It's 30-20. There's about 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Okay. And you know what? Again, rest in peace, Dick Butkus. He's an NFL legend, Chicago Bear legend. I remember him on TV for years when I was a little kid. They were just outside of NFL circles. He was a big name. He was a celebrity. He was hosting all kinds of different TV shows, and we'll definitely. If you ever watched his film, the guy was just way ahead of his time. He was like a Levon Kirkland type linebacker. He was definitely old school throwback linebacker, and he looked like a freaking defensive tackle out there playing linebacker, but he could do it and he could pull it off. So I wish I could have watched him in real time because he was definitely one of the great legends out there.
Yeah, respect to Dick Butkus, man. That guy was a monster, like you said. I mean, I'm not old enough to have watched him But I mean, I've obviously seen him, seen stories. They've showed clips and stuff like that. Like I've seen highlights over the years. Man, that guy he's a monster. I mean, this guy would just decapitate you. Like I don't think like players like that in the old school, they wouldn't be able to play nowadays because they were just going after you, hitting you hard. And he was a monster. So rest in peace to Dick Butkus, an absolute NFL legend, man. This guy was a monster, man. Shout out to Dick Butkus.
Yeah, and it's funny because like I sometimes see those old school NFL films. And I'm thinking, damn, if I was a running back, just by glancing at this dude, I'd be scared. And another guy who comes to mind is Jack Lambert. Like it's just a totally different era, man. Those guys just looked really, really scary. Oh yeah, thank you, Warowski, for the reminder. I barely watched this guy. Russ Francis, R.I.P. Rest in peace. He was actually flying his own plane and his plane crashed. So that's really, really sad how that happened. I just thought maybe he had, just got sick or got older or whatever. But yeah, former 49er tight end won some Super Bowls with us too, with Montana.
Yeah, rest in peace, man. We're losing, it's sad when you see people that you may have watched or other people knew, pass away. It's sad.
Yeah. I had this in mind about tight end. Since we're talking about Russ Francis, former 49er tight end, kind of spin a positive on it. Because, I actually saw something. Shout out to Mariah from 49 Faithfully podcast. She tweeted it out today. And it was this interesting tweet. And here's a picture of Rob Gronkowski and Kelsey next to each other. And she's like, oh, fun fact. These two guys are both the same age. They're both 34 years old. And I was like, wow, that does not make sense to me at all. But then I was thinking about it like, wow, yeah, that's so cool because actually they both won Super Bowls and Pro Bowl tight ends, all pro tight ends in their careers. Is George Kittle ever going to be the next? Is he going to be the next guy? Is he going to be the next guy to win a Super Bowl?
I think he might be. I think this is the year. You remember 2019? What did he say? Vengeance, I will be back, and I will be back with a vengeance. Bash, he said it.
Not just with a vengeance, with a fucking vengeance.
With the fucking vengeance. Well, I know. I don't know if it's a PG show or not. But
it's all good.
George Kittle will be back with a motherfucking vengeance, like he said. George Kittle is not gonna lie. He's the people's tight end. He will be in the WWE in about 3-4 years. He's getting prepped for it. But before he does that, he will retire with a Super Bowl championship. I'm telling you,
yes, sir.
Tight end that gets it. This year. This is the year, my guy. This team is special. We have a franchise quarterback. We don't have any drama. Brock Purdy, we haven't even talked about Christian McCaffrey, Bash. We've sat here for almost 50 minutes. Christian McCaffrey, MVP of the league right now. It's a quarterback-driven league, and Christian McCaffrey is shoving it down everybody's throat, saying, guess what? Y'all want to disrespect the running backs? Well, I'm going to show you how good a running back can be. Oh, my God. CMC, you want to talk about him? Everybody says, well, XYZ is him. No, Christian McCaffrey is capital HIM. He is the man, the myth. This guy. We haven't seen a running back do something like this since like Marshall Faulk, LaDainian Tomlinson, maybe Adrian Peterson. That guy was just a straight runner. But I mean, in terms of being as versatile and doing like catching out of the backfield, running the ball like he does, yeah, we haven't seen this for a long time, Bash. This guy's dominating the league. He's won every week. He's won something. He's won NFC Player of the Week, NFC Player of the Month, FedEx Player of the Week. They should just rename the FedEx Award to the Christian McCaffrey Award. It's crazy.
Yeah, CMC is the man, dude. He's just what more could I say? I mean, and it's good that you touched on CMC because the last time the 49ers played the Cowboys, we did beat them. But CMC only had about 35 yards, I believe. Mm-hmm. Very low yards per carry, about 3.5 yards per carry. And if we got CMC playing the way he is now, and if he's keeping up this MVP type pace, let's do this. I mean, I think it'll be a lot easier for the Niners, man, if we see the real CMC in this game, like we didn't see last time we played them, because I know Mitchell was our leading rusher last time we played him. And CMC again, he's basically like a slot receiver when he's out there too, not just a running back. Like you mentioned, Marshall Faulk, CMC could easily, if he was on another team, could possibly be another 1,000 guy, a la Roger Craig, who's the first guy to do it. But yeah, I'm really, really excited about what CMC is doing. I just hoping that he can get some more help. I mean, I don't know where Elijah Mitchell's career falls with the 49ers nowadays. Is he going to bounce back and get that, get something back get his step back, get his groove back? Just, is JP Mason going to step up? Is TDP going to step up? What do you think?
This is the thing, man. And CMC, the other day asked him, they said, do you think you're running the ball too much? He goes, no, man. It's the thing. I don't think people realize CMC's built different, Bash. Like, he is an elite running back. Like I said, there's not a lot of people like it. They don't build him like that. Like, he's been molded out of a factory or whatever the case is. Like, this guy was built to be an NFL superstar from the moment he was born. This guy is different. Like, they've had good running backs. Like, no disrespect. Elijah Mitchell, great player when he's available, but that's the problem. He's never available. Jordan Mason, cool story. He's pretty good. You know, they've had TDP. I mean, he doesn't really look like he's hit his potential yet. Could be a bust. We don't know. They had Trey Sermon, right? He didn't pan out. But other running backs the 49ers have had, Matt Breida, you know, Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson. They're all really fun guys. They were so cool. I supported them all. They were good late-round picks, but none of them are superstars like Christian McCaffrey. This guy is just a different type of animal. Like, they're not like Christian McCaffrey. He trains his body. He puts himself in so much. He disciplines himself so much to be built to withstand whatever. When he was with Carolina, he was getting 30, 35 carries a game, ran to the ground for a team that wasn't going anywhere. Now he's on a team that's winning. They have a great team around him. The vibes are electric. Like, he's having fun. I don't think the 20 carries that he's getting for the 49ers, I don't even think he feels it like he did in Carolina, because he's having fun. He's winning. And again, those guys like Jordan Mason, they're just not as effective at Christian McCaffrey. When it's a close game, it's hard not to give the ball to McCaffrey because he's so good, Bash. Like, I get it. I know a lot of people want to see, you know, Jordan Mason get the ball or TDP or somebody else. But when you give them the ball, they're going to get 3 yards of carry. And it's nothing to do with that I don't like them. They're just not as good as CMC. CMC can take the smallest hole on the field and turn it into 20 yards. Jordan Mason, the same hole, he might get 4 yards, it's nice. I'd rather take 20 yards every single time. CMC is just a different breed, man. And there's no disrespect to these other guys. This is the reason the 49ers went and got CMC, because he's the perfect player for this system. Like, Kyle Shanahan has been searching for this type of guy for years. Just like when Denver, right? His dad, when he was with Denver, who was his big running back? Terrell Davis. The guy was great. He was so good. He would run over. Kyle Shanahan found his Terrell Davis for his system. That's it. Bottom line.
Yes, sir. And CMC on the surface may kind of look like a small guy, you know, height, weight. If you look at him, he can take a pounding. He can run through people when need be, man. I don't want him to do it on a consistent basis, so to speak, but I've definitely seen it. And what's even impressed me more is CMC breaking tackles or whatever. But a lot of these big plays, these big runs, our wide receivers are blocking their asses off downfield. You know, whether it be Ayuk, Jawan Jennings, you know, these guys just love to block, and I love it.
Yeah, they do. You got players that are unselfish, and that's what separates this team from a lot of other teams. And the players have said this. Like, Debo said it, Ayuk said it, Juice has said it, Kittle said it. You know, they don't care about their personal success because they want to win games. I think maybe a couple of years, maybe they all did at some point, but I think now they realize the end goal is to win the Super Bowl. And if Christian McCaffrey getting the ball almost every carry, or Brandon Ayuk being your top receiver, meaning Debo's not going to do much in a game, they'll do it because that's going to help them win. Like, BA is going to get his money soon. He's a dog. You know, Christian McCaffrey is a superstar. This is the first year we're finally getting to see CMC on the offense full time, because he came in half the season last year. And I was excited this year because I was like, dude, we had a full year of CMC, a full offseason for him to prepare. And now we're seeing what Christian McCaffrey could do with Kyle Shanahan. And people are like, oh, my God, don't give him the ball. Bro, he doesn't care about it. He carried the Carolina Panthers on his back for years. And now he's doing with the 49ers with this amazing team. And as this team continues to get better and healthy, he can become a decoy at some point. But he is putting this team on his back. And I don't even think he's, like, fazed by it. Because, again, somebody in the chat said he's a cheat code. He is absolutely a cheat code. And this team is fun with Christian McCaffrey on this team, man. I remember last year I took a lot of crap because I was one of the people that was so hyped when I heard about the rumors about Christian McCaffrey. They're like, oh, it's a waste. He's washed. He's injury prone. This and that. He's not perfect for Kyle. He is absolutely the best running back Kyle Shanahan ever had. This is a Hall of Fame player. Like, that's why I was crazy when people were saying that was a dumb trade. I was like, how are you saying this? Like, would you rather have Matt Breida? Again, no disrespect to Matt Breida, undrafted player. He did good for this team. But Christian McCaffrey was a superstar from the moment he touched the football field compared to Matt Breida. Like that.
Oh, yeah.
You can't compare the two. Matt Breida is good, but he's not elite like Christian McCaffrey.
I'm not even. Breida's a nice complimentary piece. At the time when we made the trade, all we pretty much had was Jeff Wilson, because Mitchell was hurt. So yeah, Excellent move. Shout out to the 49ers front office for putting that move together. They swung for the fences. And at the end of the day, the amount of picks that they gave up for wasn't even that big of a deal. And plus, we got 12 picks coming up in this next year's draft. Before we close things out, it's 55 minutes in. Probably going to go this is the hour mark. I don't think we're going to go longer than that. But want to shout out really, really quick. Tommy Huxley, what up, Tommy Huxley? Says Lady Luck. I'm not sure what maybe he's talking about Lady Luck in a football sense. He says, I know some people say that you need luck to win the Super Bowl and all that. I don't know if I want to get into that. I did want to touch on something that we haven't touched on yet. And for whatever reason, it just came to mind and I just forgot it, but I'll definitely come up with it pretty soon. Anything else you want to bring up though? But I'm pretty sure what I want to bring up will come up in just a minute.
I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. Like I said, I'm excited, man. I just hope this team is fully healthy come Sunday. We don't want to see this team nicked up or anything. I feel like they're pretty healthy. Mooney Ward came back to practice today, so that was huge. Honestly, I think we hit everything. It's going to be a hell of a game. O-line versus the D-line on both sides is going to be a war. It's going to be a movie, man. This is going to be a get your popcorn type game out. I think it's going to be one of the best games of the entire season.
They had T.O. on the commercial about the Cowboys Niner games, and he's on the couch with his popcorn or whatever, playing into it. It's pretty funny. 49er Jeff, what up, bro? Great to have you here. Says Bash and Raj, what's up? We appreciate you, bro. And for all the people who just hopped on, we're gonna close up pretty soon, but all good. No worries. Just make sure you hit the like button on this video or subscribe if you're not subscribed. But more importantly, hit the description box or subscribe to Raj's brand new YouTube channel. RS of 49ers Live, very important to get that channel monetized. So let's do that. And I'm sure you guys are probably already following them on Instagram and Twitter. If not, you got to check them out, RS of 49ers. And I do remember that what I was going to say, I actually had it written down. Basically, because we were talking about CMC, right? And some people think that he might need help. But in general, this team may need some help. Should we make a move? I mentioned all the picks that we have, all the salary cap is up there. We have a lot of money right now. Should we make a move for a certain type of player on this team to help us out, help us get over the hump?
Yeah, mid-season move. We'll see who's firing, having a fire sale. Teams start moving players a little bit easier. They get rid of players that probably don't want to get rid of right now, but they have to because they need draft picks. We need a cornerback, Bash. No disrespect to the cornerbacks we have. It's because we don't have depth. Again, if Mooney goes down or Lenore goes down or something happens, we're in trouble, man. And again, I love Ambry. I liked him in college, but he just hasn't panned out. If we got to roll with Ambry Thomas in the playoffs, I'm a little worried. So I need to hope this team has a lot of depth, lock it up. And because I know a lot of people are going to say, go get a right tackle, go get this. There's not a lot of right tackles that you're going to trade for in the league right now. You're going to have to draft a guy, develop them. Tackle's a spot that the Niners need to make sure that they solidify later down the line because we don't know how many years Trent Williams has. But I think if the 49ers make one move this offseason, or mid-season, and they make a trade like they did with CMC, go and get a cornerback, man. Do it. That's all you need. Go get the cornerback. You have Mooney and whoever else you get with Lenore, you're set, man. And then you can have Womack when he comes back from injury. Then you can have Isaiah Oliver, and your depth is so much better. So that sounds a lot better to me than having to roll the dice on some of the guys they have that they've added over the last couple of weeks. Trey Swilling, Ambry Thomas. I'm a little shaky right now with the secondary. So we're one big injury away from stressful secondary, So go get it.
Yeah, I got you. I keep hearing the name Patrick Surtain thrown around the Denver Broncos. I don't know if we're going to be able to get him. I don't know what kind of price tag they're speaking of if they were going to shop him around. I don't want this team to give up all kinds of top first rounders just for him, but at the end of the day, if they lock him in and it's not a 1-year rental or anything like that, and it's somebody that we hold on to, I definitely be for it. If we, give up a first rounder for it or whatever, why not? For a known commodity, then you can keep them around. Sure. I just not a big fan of the 1-year rental thing, but again, to get us that ring, hey, why not? Hey, so it's
they rented Dion, my boy.
We did.
You know what? Whatever it takes, Bash. We got to win that. The last time we had a Super Bowl win was when they had Dion, and that was a 1-year rental, and that was a hell of a rental. Defensive Player of the Year, like he was a dog that year for the Niners. And then they didn't offer him another contract, so that was on them. But hey, I love Surtain, and I know every Niner fan out there wants Patrick Surtain, yourself included. I love him, but I just don't think that we're going to be able to get him because there's no way Denver fire sells Patrick Surtain. It's going to take a first round at the very least, and 49ers
maybe a second or something.
If they maybe more than a first. If the 49ers have a first round pick this year, if they do as good as we think, it's going to be a very, very, very late first round pick, hopefully 32nd, if you get my drift. So I still think they need to use that first round pick on a tackle. Because, again, we don't know what the hell is going to happen with Trent Williams. And if you don't have Trent Williams, you're going to be screwed for the rest of your time. And Colton McKivitz, is he going to develop into something? Maybe you get a right tackle in the draft as well. So I would like them to keep that first-round pick for a tackle. But, again, if they can absolutely get Patrick Surtain, that's a move that puts them over the top. So it's tough, man. I do want to see them get a cornerback. But if there's somebody else that's really good that, like you said, could be a one-year rental, just fucking do it, man. Do it. Because if that's what it needs to get a Super Bowl, you do it.
Either get me a corner or get. Actually, my first wish is a pass rusher, but either or. Let me ask you this really quick, since I mentioned corner, then won't close us out. Any word on Darrell Luter Jr. or Womack? I mean, say we don't make a move. I mean, do the Niners have faith in these guys? I was excited to see this Darrell Luter Jr. guy the whole time with all the hype that he was getting in camp, and then lo and behold, we haven't seen the guy yet.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, he had a bone bruise, so they shut him down. I feel like he could come back later in the season, depending on how they feel about him. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they use like the full year and just let him be a redshirt type guy. But if they really are hell pressed on secondary, they might activate him here in the next couple of weeks, because they can in I think another week or so. But the problem is he's so young. He really he hasn't had any snaps. So do you want to trust on a rookie? So it's tough because he didn't really get to play the preseason. The guy that I feel like really will make a difference is Sam Womack, and I believe that he's eligible to come back. They put him on the short-term IR, so he should be able to come back in the next week or so, as long as he's healthy and better. But he did have a little surgery to repair the MCL, so his injury was, I think, a 6 to 8 week time frame is what they said. So it's still going to be until mid-season. So again, they'll have to see how he's feeling, and they'll have to kind of see where he is mid-season if they want to put him back on the roster. But that's what I'm saying. If let's say week 6, week 7 comes, and then the trade deadlines are approaching, if Sam Womack is not 100% and you absolutely need a cornerback, and Darrell Luter's not ready, that's your move. You have to go in and get a cornerback.
I always call him Samuel, who's the Mac, a reference to an old school Ice Cube song, who's the Mac. All right. Score prediction, and then after that, we're going to give the fans what they need, some Niner hype to get everybody hyped up to beat them Cowboys. So give me your score prediction.
I usually don't do my score prediction till Friday. But
okay.
No, we're gonna do it because you're my boy. So
we're
gonna do. I might change tomorrow. I was like, Niners 35, Dallas Cowboys 24.
All right. So I said 30-20. So mine's a 10-point differential. Yours is 11 points, so to speak. So we're kind of similar on that end. Either way, I'll be happy with the W. If it's just we only score one touchdown and they score 3 points or whatever, hey, we get the W, whatever. But at the end of the day, really quick before we do this hype, read the screen right now, like and subscribe to the video. Roger's new YouTube channel in the description box. Subscribe to. I know you may just subscribe to his old YouTube channel, but he needs subscriptions for his new channel to get it monetized. But we're playing the Dallas Cowboys. The 49ers are 4-0. We're about to be 5-0. I'm saying 30-20. Bang, bang, Niner gang. What do you guys say, Raj?
I'm hyped up. Let's go. Niners, Cowboys, the rivalry of a lifetime. It's like the Bloods and the Crips. Let's go, Niners. Let's beat those Cowgirls. Bang, bang, Niner gang.
Bang, bang, Niner gang. Yeah, we are the Bloods, I guess, in this case. Really quick, my friend, Master Eddie Craft here, lives in Texas. Big Niner fan. Says Niners 40, Cowboys 21. Appreciate all you guys in the chat. You guys make the show happen. All the viewers from wherever you came from. If you're new, you're old school, loyal viewer. We appreciate you all. Thank you guys for watching 49er Minded. Thank you, Raj from RS of 49ers, for hopping on 49er Minded, where we get into the minds of 49er fans. Time to beat those Cowboys, keep repping those 49ers, and stay 49er Minded. Peace. Beat the Cowgirls. Come on, 49er fans, let's get it.
Because it's 49er Mind.
We gotta do this one time for the Empire.
It's 49er Mind. It's 49er Mind.
We gotta get that brick by brick real quick.
49er Mind.
Yeah, Yo, we can't listen to them haters, man.
49er Mind.
from the Bay.
49er minded.
We them San Francisco 49ers.
49er minded.
We got that red and gold blood inside us.
49er minded.